And hello everybody, welcome back to the channel guys, I hope you're all well. Before we do get into today's video, as always, please do smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for daily Liverpool content. Guys, in today's video, as always, here to bring you up to date with all of the latest Liverpool news from the last 24 hours. That actually includes some massive transfer news, as it does look like a deal has been agreed for a defender. But there is a caveat, there is a bit of a twist, which of course we'll get into and discuss the details a little bit later on. But do you remember the old Netflix or documentary, if you like, the Jurgen Klopp farewell documentary? Well, following it, been a bit forgotten, to be fair. It's been put on a shelf for a while, and we never really heard too much about it. But the Liverpool documentary following the end of Jurgen Klopp's reign may seem to have been forgotten, but the club have held new talks over its release after delay. The documentary was recorded over the last course of the final few months of last season to chart Klopp's farewell, and the Reds' fight and eventual collapse in the hunt for the quadruple. Produced by Lawton Entertainment, the documentary began filming behind-the-scenes footage at the start of December last year and is intended to offer an in-depth insight into the dressing room during the dramatic last 6 months of Klopp's reign at Anfield. Initially, Disney Plus were the front-runners to purchase the 8-part documentary series when news broke of his release back in January. However, The Athletic now report that Amazon are now in talks to purchase the documentary, among other streaming platforms. The report claims that the documentary was initially set to be released this month and generate an 8-figure sum. Whether Amazon or any other streaming platform will be willing to strike an agreement along those lines remains to be seen. Their streaming platform, Amazon Prime, is known for its behind-the-scenes documentaries on sports teams. It is home to several in-depth documentaries of similar nature, including a popular All or Nothing series which featured Mikel Arteta's Arsenal in 2022, Jose Mourinho's Tottenham in 2020, and Pep Guardiola's Manchester City in 2018. The streaming platform also announced that it will release a documentary about Kenny Dalglish, directed by lifelong Liverpool fan Asif Kabadaya. Kabadaya is renowned for his work in sports documentaries, having directed documentaries such as Senna, Amy, and Diego Maradona in the past. Where will come the documentary about Klopp's 6 final months remains to be seen. At this stage, there is no concrete agreement with Amazon Prime, and a release date is moot. But at least we heard something, I suppose, with regards to it, and it's not been forgotten about. It's something, of course, that we are still got in the offing, and it's something that will happen over time. In the Giorgio Mamardashvili, there's a bit of transfer news, guys, not the main story we're talking about tonight, but it's a bit of an update with regards to Mamardashvili. Yes, Liverpool's plans behind signing Valencia goalkeeper Giorgio Mamardashvili have been explained. Along with suggestions, Alisson has made it clear his plans are to leave. Mamardashvili is edging closer to completing a move to Anfield, with the latest reports suggesting Valencia and the Reds are nearing an agreement. As things stand, the current deal would see the Georgian spend next season on loan at Valencia rather than being sent to Bournemouth as had been previously claimed. It's a move that come out of the blue for Liverpool. Signing another goalkeeper wasn't necessarily viewed as an imperative this summer, with Alisson, Kelleher, Jaros all at the club. However, the Athletic's James Pearce has explained why Liverpool feel their pursuit of Mamardashvili makes sense. Speaking on the Walk On podcast, Pearce elaborated on Liverpool's plans with Mamardashvili and why they feel they are getting a bargain transfer by signing the 23-year-old. From the people I've spoken to, the idea that Alisson has suddenly given Liverpool notice that he intends to move either in 2025 or 2026. I've been told it isn't the case. It's been explained to me as more of a long-term succession planning, that Liverpool rate this guy incredibly highly and that they think he's available on the market for the price that undervalues him. They think it's a good long-term investment and they would try to loan him out and bring him in the latter point. Pearce also noted Kelleher's contract situation with the Irishman's deal up in 2026. With no transfer in the offing as it stands, it is unlikely to extend look to become a number one. Certainly that logic makes sense. Alisson isn't going any younger, and Kelleher clearly isn't viewed as a long-term replacement for the Brazilian. Mamardashvili, on the other hand, is regarded as one of the most talented young goalkeepers in European football and showcased his quality at Euro 2024 earlier this summer. He certainly has the ability to succeed Alisson in the future. According to Sky Sports, Liverpool will be bringing him to the club for a package worth of £29.9 million, with an upfront fee of £25.6 million and £4.3 million million in potential add-ons. I do think this one's going to be a very, very good signing, ladies and gentlemen, which wherever you way look at it. A contingency plan is fantastic, but I would like to see some players coming through the door this summer, also in terms of for the here and now. Now, talking about the main subject, guys, as stated, it does look like a deal has been agreed, but the twist is it's been agreed with two different clubs. Yes, Liverpool have reached an agreement with both Brentford and Bayer Leverkusen for the sale of Sepp van der Berg. Despite impressing in pre-season, van der Berg is set for pastures new away from Anfield. That is according to Dutch newspaper Der Telegraaf, who report that Liverpool have agreed to a £25 million deal with both Brentford and Bayer Leverkusen for the 22-year-old defender. They report that Van der Berg must now decide which options he prefers, with the defender opening to listening to both Brentford's and Leverkusen's proposal. Both have offered a 5-year contract and a considerable salary increase, though the player himself is prioritising game time. Liverpool also been prepared to give him a top salary, and though it is maintained that Arne Slot would prefer to keep him, Van der Berg wants to play every single week because he is convinced that is better for his development. Arriving at the club as an exciting prospect, Van der Berg was likened to Virgil van Dijk during the summer of 2019. Ultimately, he spent 5 years at Anfield, although most of those years were spent out on loan at Preston, Schalke and Mainz respectively. Van der Berg last played a competitive game for Liverpool in February 2020 during an FA Cup tie against Shrewsbury over 4 years ago now. In total, he made just 4 first-team appearances and he was never really able to break into the senior setup. There were hopes for him to finally get his break this summer, with a compatriot Slot being named as Liverpool's head coach. However, it seems that despite putting in the solid displays in pre-season, Van der Berg has not done quite enough to convince Slot and the rest of the coaching staff he could challenge the likes of Quansah and Kanate. Having signed him for just £4.4 million from Zwolle, Liverpool are now set to make a profit of £20.6 million on their investment and will be delighted with that business. For Van der Berg, the future is clearly bright. In Leverkusen and Brentford, he has the option to choose the two clubs, both growing in stature and playing at the highest level. So yeah, choice out of the two. Liverpool have got the cash for him, £25 million. And just for a bit of fun, which club would you choose? I mean, people always look at the Premier League and say that's the best, but you got to go to Bayer Leverkusen, I think, to work with Alonso and play for the champions of Germany. It looks like they could maybe go and retain that title, play in the Champions League and all that sort of stuff as well. I would certainly be choosing that if I was Van der Berg. But Liverpool fans, that's all I've got for you guys. As always, do let me know your thoughts on the of all our subject matter in today's video down in the comments. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button, and do check out our summer collection. Link is down in the description, or go to copyclothing.com. Thank you guys, and I'll see you next time. Take care.